Hey everyone, before we get started talking about the Common App, we wanted to let you know that you can calculate your chances of admission at a variety of different schools using our chancing engine. First, you'll start by completing your chancing profile with information that's reflected throughout the Common App, such as GPA, testing, and extracurricular activities. From there, you can use CollegeVine's Hub tool to see your chances and information about different schools, such as cost, majors, and more. Visit the link in the description below to sign up and see your chances today.
All right. Next up, let's talk about the education section. So first up, you're going to add your high school here, right? And in this case, we're going to add, ever so slowly, we're going to add McNeil High School, which is in Round Rock, Texas. If it ever makes it through here. Yeah, we're going to add McNeil High School. Again, this is just a school that I picked at random. It is the high school that I would have gone to if I had ended up staying in Texas, but I ended up moving to New Jersey, so I went to a very different high school. But yeah, let's go through McNeil High School here. Okay, so. All right, so with McNeil High School, right? Sorry, folks. Just took me a second there. My screen froze. So with McNeil High School, right, you're going to get asked for like when you're entering the school, right? So you can enter whenever you enter the school, whether or not it's a boarding school. When you're going to end up graduating from the school, right? They're going to give you a graduation date. They're also going to, ask if any of these kind of scenarios were sort of part of your experience, right? So if there's any change in kind of your progression, like a gap year, graduating late, taking time off for like health reasons, you kind of enter all that information here. Okay. Now, in addition to that, if you attended any previous high schools, you do have to enter the same information for those previous high schools, right? In this case, I'm not choosing any, but it's going to be the same information that you attended in the previous one. Additionally, if you've taken coursework at a college or a university, and this is going to include any of the dual enrollment stuff that you've been doing, right? You're going to have to enter that information here. And then you obviously select dual enrollment for, say, it's a community college locally, right? And then you can talk about what degree that you earned or whether it was just credit. So if you just took some college courses, you're going to select credit usually. Whereas if you're actually in a dual enrollment program where you're going to graduate with like an associate's degree, that's where you're going to say dual enrollment with high school, right? So it really just depends on kind of which category your experience is in. All right, so then we're going to continue here. Then in the next section, they're going to ask about your graduating class size, like roughly the approximate graduating class size that you're working on, right? And then they're also going to ask about things like your class rank reporting. So if your school ranks, you can definitely enter in your decile rank, your exact rank, etc. Right? But then if your school doesn't rank, you can just enter none. Now, keep in mind that your school may rank and report to colleges even if they don't report it to you. So just be careful that you understand kind of what your school's policies are. Next up, you have your GPA scale reporting. You kind of just pick which scale your school uses. Say the school uses 100. You might have a GPA of a 97. Now, I usually recommend just reporting your unweighted GPA here or your weighted GPA, whichever one is used for class rank. If your GPA is not used for class rank, then it's really up to you. What I will say is that in most cases, the colleges are going to come up with their own weighting system anyway. So you probably don't need to worry too much about, weighted versus unweighted. Just put whichever GPA you kind of prefer to use and whichever one you think about. But I will say that most colleges are gonna switch over to using your unweighted GPA anyway. So ultimately, it's sort of really up to you. All right. Then next up, you have your current or most recent year's courses, right? And so most of you on the call are obviously current seniors. And so you want to make sure that you're reporting all the classes you're taking in your senior year. Then for each of these classes, you're going to put the title in, obviously, and then you're going to pick a course level, right? And this is everything ranging from accelerated to advanced placement, to college prep, to enriched, to international systems like GCSE, to pre-IB, international baccalaureate, IB regents, like all kinds of course levels. So you're able to do that. You're also able to talk about the course scheduling system your school is using, right? So if you're on like a trimester system, right? And then you're also able to see, which ones are available for which semesters or trimesters or quarters, right? So if you're only in one class, 1 quarter of the year, for example, I think when I was in high school, we had health class for 1 quarter of the year, right? And then PE or gym for the other 3. This is kind of where you would take that into account. Okay, so that's that. That's, again, pretty boilerplate as far as entering the information there, right? You do want to try and enter all your courses into these categories, obviously. So your dual enrollment and your college courses will be up here in the college section. And your other courses are going to be in the high school. Sorry, your dual enrollment colleges are going to be up here, but your courses are actually going to be recorded down here. So if you have a mix of dual enrollment courses and courses in your normal high school, you want to report all of them over here. Okay. Next up, let's get to the honor section. And this is where we start to get into some of the stuff where there's a little bit more of a strategic approach. So with the honor section, this is really your place to enter any awards or honors that you receive that are not tied to an extracurricular activity. So if you have an honor or an award that's tied to one of your extracurricular activities, that should go in the activity section, which we'll visit in a bit. But if you have any other honor, so say you won an award in your community for being a good citizen, or you won an academic award from your school, or you won like a national AP scholar or national national merit semifinalist awards, right? Any of those types of awards are going to be put into here. Everything else is going to be largely put into your extracurricular achievements as part of the description, right? Now, in this case, we're going to just report one honor, right? Or actually, I'll show a couple honors here. So, you pick an honor, you obviously are able to pick a grade level, etc. Now, in terms of the honors question here, right? What you're able to see here, is that there's a character limit for the honor section, right? So for the honor section, everything is going to go into this title, right? So you have to make sure that in this title, you're not, you're not wasting too many characters. So you have 100 characters here, basically, in this honors title. And so this is where you'll want to say, like, best student award, given to, awarded to 4 out of 450 students in my class, right? Something like that, basically, right? You want to be convey information, ideally convey not only the award itself, but kind of a little bit of context to why it's impressive, right? If it's given out by an organization, you'll want to kind of mention that element here. So like, good citizenship award, award, given out by local Rotary Club, right? That's something that you'll want to kind of do right there. Right? And then you can obviously pick your grade level, right? If you won the same award multiple times, you can either enter them as separate lines or you can enter them here. And then your level of recognition. Obviously, international awards tend to be more impressive than national ones, which tend to be more impressive than state ones, which tend to be more impressive than school or regional ones, which tend to be less impressive. More impressive, rather. So you, in general, want to just be pushing and kind of picking which of the you want to be picking which of the awards you'll be chasing after. All right. Now, when you add multiple awards, in general, you want to order your awards based on the level of impressiveness. So your most important award should be the first one entered. Your next most important award should be your second one entered. After that should be your third one entered, and so on. And then you can go ahead and hit continue, right? Now, this question is basically just about if you've got any free assistance from community service organizations. So these are like charities in your local community. There's no advantage or disadvantage to answering this question. It really kind of just is up to you. Okay. Finally, we have future plans. And this one is not super important, right? You can obviously, enter kind of your future plans here, but as a general principle, right? You want to make sure that you are, looking at making sure that your answers to this question right here align with your answers to the college-specific supplements. As long as your answers are aligned, it doesn't really matter what you answer here, but colleges will note any inconsistencies. as a higher order principle, in general, you want to make sure that you don't have too many inconsistencies in your application. You want to make sure that information remains consistent through the different parts of your application, and there's nothing that doesn't make sense with each other, like religious affiliation, but no, writing about religion in your essay, but having no religious affiliation, right? It's all about avoiding any of these kinds of like tricky or sort of mistaken identity elements, right?